We are confident that we will be able to reach a level by March 21st where we can remove the requirement to wear masks in most of our situations.
Well, this could be the beginning of the end. Washington Governor Jay Inslee announcing today an end to the statewide indoor mask mandate.
This could be, so starting on March 21st, masks will no longer be mandated in most buildings, schools, and venues across our state. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on Crime 2 News First at 4. I'm Tom Sherry.
And I'm Whitney Ward. We do have team coverage on this announcement this evening. We begin with Ian Smay, who is joining us, and with the changes that schools can expect after today's mask update. We'll also tell you what other states still have indoor mask mandates and when we expect to drop them.
But first, we're going to go over to Mark Hanrahan. He listened to the governor's announcement. So, Mark, this is a pretty big deal. It has been more than 600 days since the first indoor mandate was put in place here in Washington State. So give us an idea of what changes we're going to see.
Yeah, good afternoon, Tom and Whitney. This is a big deal. This has been a hotly debated topic for months now. How much longer will masks be required in the state of Washington in places like schools? Well, today we got that answer. After 2 years, the indoor mask mandate is coming to an end in about a month. The governor insisting he is making that decision based on science. In his briefing today, the governor pointed out that while cases are dropping dramatically, hospitalizations do remain high across Washington. But he is confident, he says, that by March 21st, we'll be in a position to no longer need to require masks in most indoor settings. Here's what that means. Masks will no longer be required, at least by the state, in places like public buildings, restaurants, K-12 schools, places of worship, gyms, and grocery stores. However, private businesses can still require masks if they choose to do so. They just won't be required to by the state. Today, the governor and the state superintendent of public instruction thanked Washingtonians for getting us to this point.
We are in a position to be able to make this progress because people have been careful, have by and large followed our mandates, and have been responsible, and most Washingtonians have got vaccinated as well. This is what has allowed us to be in this position to reduce these mask mandates.
We had 1.53 million children nationwide were not in in-person learning. From the 5-year-old to the 105-year-old, everybody had a part in a shared responsibility to each other. It involved face covering and distancing and hygiene and in some cases closures. The impacts have been broad, but we also became a state that rapidly addressed this in ways the country was envious of. Half the hospitalization rate per 100,000, half of the loss of life per 100,000.
All right, there are exceptions to today's announcements. Masks will still be required in certain settings, and here those are: healthcare and medical facilities, long-term care facilities, public transit, taxis, rideshare vehicles, school buses, and correctional facilities. Masks will still be required in those settings. And again, private businesses and local governments can still choose to require masks if they want to. But after 2 years of restrictions and a lot of heated debate, the end is in sight for the indoor mask mandate. That end March 21st. Back to you guys.
Well, this also means that students at Washington schools will be able to attend class this spring without a mask starting March 21st.
So we're turning to Crime 2's Ian Smay live in the newsroom tonight to explain what else this is going to mean for our schools, and also getting some reactions tonight from local education leaders. Ian.
This means that starting on March 21st, students will no longer be required to wear masks while at school. Masks have been required since students went back to the classroom during the 2020-21 school year. This means that for the first time since Governor Inslee forced schools to transition to remote learning, kids will be going to class without masks. Additional guidance from the state for schools will come out the week of March 7th. That's in order to give more time for districts to prepare for the transition to optional mask usage. Schools must still report cases and outbreaks to the state, and students and staff showing COVID-19 symptoms will still be required to quarantine. Other requirements that will still be in place include making sure testing is available for students and staff who have been exposed or have symptoms. Michael Dunn is the superintendent of ESD 101, which represents Eastern Washington school districts. He said the announcement is a sign of hope.
I think it's a beacon of hope. This has been a pretty long 2 years, and I think that the symbolism of masks being able to come off, meaning that it's becoming a safer environment for all of us.
We also talked to parents at Mullen Road Elementary School when they went to pick up their kids earlier today. We asked them their thoughts on the news. Here's what one nanny had to say.
I think that'll be kind of nice. I'm a nanny, and two of the girls that I nanny, they go to the school, and it kind of sucks because like a lot of them, like their friends, they haven't seen them like without their mask, so they'll come over for a play date at like our house or whatever, and their friends will pull down their mask and they're like, oh, that's what you look like.
We also just received the letter that the Spokane Public Schools District sent to its families. It reads in part, as in the past, we ask that all students and staff follow health and safety protocols. SPS will continue to follow the guidance of public health officials and will provide updates to staff and families whenever changes are made. We have reached out to multiple other school districts that have said they will release statements tonight. We will bring those to you as soon as we have them. In the newsroom, Ian Smay, KREM 2 News.
All right, Ian, thank you very much. And according to the CDC, new cases of COVID have actually dropped almost 92% from the height of the Omicron surge. Yeah, if you take a look here, it's allowing more states now to loosen some of those restrictions.
However, many states are keeping mask requirements for schools, even as some parents vent their anger on this subject across districts all across the United States.
So let's take a look. We've got a map here of the latest vaccination rates as you look by state. So most of the country is between 53 and 71%. That's the blue color that you're seeing. Washington, Oregon, Hawaii, Illinois, New Mexico, those are the 5 states where indoor mask mandates in all public settings, those are still in place right now.
So as we know, that will change soon in Washington and Oregon. Illinois and New Mexico have also set dates to end their indoor mandates in the coming weeks.
Now, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention right now saying that they're working on updating COVID guidelines, including guidance for wearing masks. All of this coming after the sharp decline in new cases since the Omicron variant.
We want to give people a break from things like mask wearing when these metrics are better, and then have the ability to reach for them again should things worsen.
But the CDC says before giving its blessing to start removing masks, it has to make sure hospitals aren't overwhelmed. In the past couple weeks, 11 states and Washington, D.C. have rolled back mask mandates. Many, though, are keeping them for schools.
Now, the CDC still recommends everyone should wear a mask in indoor spaces where there can be high transmission of COVID. Right now, they say that applies to about 97% of U.S. counties.
And today, Kathy McMorris-Rogers took to Twitter to voice her concern with the mask mandate in schools. She's directing her message towards the CDC, asking that, quote, any updates to masking policies must unmask our kids first. They shouldn't be last in line for life to get back to normal. Here was her message.
We must unmask our children. There's no excuse as to why these restrictions should be the last to have the restrictions to be lifted. You know, I'm speaking for millions of Americans and parents across this country. I speak for them. I speak for my own son, who is still masked in his school. Children are our future. We all recognize that. These are bad policies that are a part of our sacrificing a generation of children and their future. Let's stop the suffering. Let's stand on the side of parents and kids and make sure we get our kids back in school.
Now, Governor Inslee is expected to visit Spokane tomorrow, but on a completely different topic. He'll be talking about transportation, climate priorities, and affordable housing. The governor will tour the Division Street corridor, learning more about the $50 million Division Street bus rapid transit project. That's going to be funded by the Move Ahead Washington package that the Democrats have proposed. The governor is then meeting with Gonzaga students to talk about climate priorities. He'll then tour the Highland Village affordable housing project in Airway Heights.
Well, that was a lot of information about masking, unmasking, COVID, latest data, all of it. Well, to make that information easier for you to get, just text the word mask to 509-448-2000. We'll send links with all of these updates straight to your phone.
All right, let's switch gears. Let's turn to the outdoor, where this is a much different view than we had yesterday. We were kind of loving the sunshine at this hour. Definitely not the case today.
Yeah, we didn't see our shadow much today, did we? We knew this was going to happen. And we've got changes afoot, as Sherlock would say. Take a look now. We have 42 degrees. Wind is out of the southwest at 8 miles per hour. Obviously, mostly cloudy skies. You look at the satellite and radar picture. Really, we're not picking up any precipitation, and we are seeing clearing up in areas of north central central and central Washington, and just a few clouds over us. But again, thick enough layer to prevent the sun from coming through. And of course, we're getting pretty late in the day now. We'll look for an overnight low of 30 with some patchy fog, and then we should see partly cloudy skies on your Friday with a high of 46, and then more clouds expected this weekend. Snow showers or wet snow developing Saturday night into Sunday morning, and then a rain or snow possible on Sunday. About a 50% probability of that. We'll look for a daytime high of 42. Enjoy those temperatures in the 40s because much colder weather is headed our way next week. I'll explain on that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. And coming up right after the break, we are continuing our investigation into the Spokane shock. At the center of this is one big question. Will the football team have a season this year? We're telling you what we found as we work to answer questions just like that.